Welcome to the Internet Safety Training by the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities. This training was developed because we felt it was really important that people getting more and more connected on the internet know how to identify risks and get help when they need it. So before we get started, I would like to talk a bit about who your safe person is. This safe person is someone that you can talk to about anything. So if there's something that you need to tell someone, or if you feel in danger or threatened or just uncomfortable about something, you have someone in your mind that you can go to right away and tell. So what makes someone a safe person? This is not just someone that you have met recently who is really nice to you and seems trustworthy, but this is a relationship that has developed over time so that you know the character of this person and you know that you can trust them with anything. So we'll just get through the list here. This person is someone you can trust and talk to about anything. You feel safe and comfortable around this person. This person is honest with you. This person helps you when you need it. They keep their promises to you, and you have known them for a long time. So throughout the training, we will refer back to the safe person. So I just want to make sure you are identifying someone early on that you can keep in your mind in case anything comes up in your mind that you would like to talk to someone about. So I just want to focus again on who a safe person can be. So this is a relationship circle, and the closer you get to the middle of the circle, the closer that person is to you. So you're in the middle, and way out in the top and the outside are the strangers. So your general community, that circle, that second circle is like your neighbors, store clerks, police officers, anybody that you might see out in your community on a daily basis. And then your acquaintances, that next circle in, this could be like your classmates, your coworkers, you know their names. You might see them every day, but you're not real close with them. You don't have a solid relationship with them. And then as we move in towards you, you have your friends and your family. So just because somebody is a friend or a family member does not mean that they are your safe person. You should really identify one friend or one family member, somebody that you trust with anything. So this is kind of just a visual of this person is going to be really close to you, and you're going to be able to trust them, and they have moved from being a stranger over time, over a long period of time, towards that middle circle closest to you. During our in-person trainings, I usually ask everybody what kinds of technology they recognize and what kinds of technology they use. So we have a computer, or this could also represent a laptop, just some kind of computer. And then we have a gaming controller, we have a smartwatch, we have like a smartphone, and then a camera, and then the various sizes of Alexa. Then lastly, we have an iPad or a tablet. There are lots of other types of technology, but these are the main ones that I would think everybody uses most frequently. So I just want to get your minds thinking about the various ways we are connected to the internet. I also ask which apps people recognize. So I don't recognize all of these. I recognize some of them, but there are lots of new apps developing every day. So this picture is probably even outdated now. I know I don't see TikTok on here. That's a really popular app right now that can be pretty dangerous. So there are just so many different opportunities for us to connect with other people and strangers that we don't know. So we have to be really, really careful with all of these apps. Now, technology is not something that you only have to fear. Technology can be really good, and it is really helpful in many ways. So I just want to go through some of these ideas that technology is good and is a reason why we use it, even though it has its risks. So technology can help us connect with our friends and our family. It can help us find help in an emergency. It can help us be more independent. It helps us learn how to do things. It helps us remember memories by, storing pictures and videos and writings or posts or whatever. It helps us find our way around town, and it can also help us figure out how much to tip at a restaurant. This list certainly does not cover all of the benefits that technology can give us, but it's certainly a snapshot of the benefits of technology and why we use it. There are a lot of benefits with technology, but there are definitely risks. Some of those risks include oversharing, which means sharing way too much information online for other people to see, embarrassing ourselves and others, hurting others or being hurt, acting like someone we're not, money scams, identity theft, etc., and getting messages from dishonest people. These risk factors are not something to fear, but just something to be aware of when we are online. Has anyone ever seen the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire when he says, "With great power comes great responsibility"? Well, that's a lot like the internet. So technology gives us a lot of power, but with that comes a lot of responsibility. And if we abuse that power that we've been given, we will be held accountable for our actions. So some of the consequences that could result are getting kicked out of school, losing our jobs, or ruining friendships. With technology, sometimes things feel like they are pretend because we're not actually interacting with people face to face. But it's important to remember that your online actions have real world impacts. So if you say something mean about your friend online, that is going to have a real life impact on your friendship in real life. You may not have a friend anymore. So before sharing, we want to make sure that we stop and we ask ourselves some simple questions. Am I okay with my boss, neighbors, friends, family members, and strangers seeing this or reading this? If you're about to share something about another person, have you asked that person if it's okay to share their picture or their video or their information online? Are you posting this out of anger or jealousy? And could this hurt or embarrass someone else? So there's just a lot that we need to think about before we post something. We need to check our intentions and our motivations. Because once we post something, there's no taking it back. It's out there forever. Posting or sharing something on social media is a lot like emptying a toothpaste bottle. So once you squeeze out all the toothpaste, there's no way that you can put it all back in that toothpaste bottle the way it was. So similarly, once you post something online, you can never take it back. It's out there forever. And even if you delete it, somebody could take a screenshot of it or take a picture of it so they have evidence that it was out there. So again, before you post something, make sure that you're evaluating your motivations and your intentions, because the consequences are real and can affect your life dramatically. We need to talk about cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? It's hurtful rumors, threats, or humiliating pictures or videos through text messages, apps, social media, or gaming. It's anything done on social media that is intended to hurt someone else or bully someone else. If someone is cyberbullying you, don't respond to it, save the evidence, block the bully, and report it to your safe person. I know it's difficult to not respond to someone who has hurt you because our initial response is to want to hurt them back. But if you do that, then you are just as much at fault and could also get in trouble. Cyberbullying can lead to punishment, even involvement of the police. This is a really serious thing because, like we've said before, social media and what we post on there has real world impact. And so when someone is being cyberbullied, it's real life. Like, it really affects them as a person. It affects them mentally. It affects how they view themselves, how they view other people. And so it can really hurt a person and sometimes even make them want to hurt themselves. So it's a very dangerous thing. And if you see bullying or something else inappropriate online, be sure to tell your safe person. By telling someone and speaking up, you can either help yourself or someone else who's being cyberbullied to make sure that they can get help that they need to get out of this situation and start the healing process. Sexting is something else we need to talk about. You should avoid talking about sex online or sending sexual photos or videos. Not everyone online is honest or kind, even if they are nice to you. You never know what that person will do with those texts or photos or videos. And if someone contacts you and it feels creepy, hurtful, uncomfortable, or threatening, ignore and block that person right away, then tell you're a safe person. I'm not at all saying that talking about sex is bad. Talking about sex can be really healthy. What I'm saying is that talking about sex online or sharing videos or photos online can be very dangerous. Because once you send those messages or photos or videos out into cyberspace, you have no idea where they are going to end up. And even if you're in a committed relationship with someone, I still don't think it's a good idea to share these types of things, because what happens when you break up? What if that person is now mad at you and wants to get even with you? They could even share these photos with your friends, your family, your school, or strangers. This is a good example of what I was talking about with the toothpaste bottle. Once you put something out there, you have no control over who sees it or what is done with it. I know a lot of you play video games and online games, so there's some safety things that we really need to be aware of with that as well. You should never give out private information like your real name, your address, your phone number, where you go to school, where you work, or sending photos. You should report people if they are upsetting you or making you feel uncomfortable. You can also block or mute them. Some games ask you to buy things with real money. So when you're spending money on games, it also feels pretend because it's in a cyberspace world, but you have to be careful and remember that what you do online has real world impact. And so when you're buying things with real money, that's real money coming out of your bank account that you won't be able to spend on other things. Also, when you're gaming, you never know who the real person is behind the character or the avatar that you are playing with. And you should change your privacy settings to protect your information. There are certain values and manners that we have been learning since we were kids, and we practice them in real life. We say please and thank you. We're kind, we're fair, we're loyal to our family and our friends. But sometimes when we're online, it seems that we forget that we're talking and interacting with real humans, real people behind the screen or behind the avatar on the game. So we want to make sure that when we are online, that we're still treating people with respect, with patience, with kindness, that we're being fair, so that we don't lose sight of each other behind the screens. Being more connected online means that we also need to be more protective of our money. So do not respond to texts, emails, or pop-up messages telling you to send money. Never share your social security number, your bank account number, your credit card number, or your address. And contact your safe person immediately if you see purchases on your bank or credit card statements that you haven't made. Some people are really good at tricking us into giving them money or giving them our credit card number. So you want to be really careful and think about things before you send any kind of money or personal account number. Here's a list of scams that you may have experienced yourself or may have heard about from someone else. So one is being asked to wire money or buy a prepaid money card for someone in need, being selected for a job that you never applied for, winning a contest you never entered, pressure to act now to gain your prize, having to pay a fee for a loan or to receive a prize, requests for your personal information, and then non-existent or falsely represented items for sale. Basically, if something seems too good to be true, it usually is. So no one's going to give you something for free. No one's going to offer you a job that you didn't apply for. If anybody's trying to pressure you to act right now because they don't want you to have time to think about it and think clearly about it, that's usually a big red flag as well. And if they are promising something to you on the condition that you will give something to them first, that's another huge red flag. Here are just a few examples of scams. We've got one here from the IRS, another one from Netflix, and another one from Amazon. However, none of these actually came from those companies. These are all scams that have been sent to someone. If you notice in each of these examples, it's asking you to update your information. So they have a link that you should click on and enter your new address or update your payment information. This is not the actual website. So what you're clicking on, it's going to look a lot like the normal website, but it's going to be a scam. And so you're actually entering your personal information into a scammer's website. If you ever want to verify that one of these scams is legitimate, if it's real, if it's true, then you should contact these companies directly. So if Amazon sends you a code asking you to update your address, you should contact Amazon directly. Go directly to your Amazon account or call Amazon if you can. I don't know if they can allow that, but send them an email, something. Contact them directly through their website that you go to, not one that you have gotten to from a link in an email that's possibly a scam. And if you ever get one of these emails and you're just confused by it, because it can be very confusing, definitely talk with your safe person. And then the little picture up in the right with the dog, it says, "I told her I was a pit bull." And a pit bull is a much larger dog, a much scarier looking dog than this little dog in the photo. And so the point of that is just that you never know who people are behind their screens. They might say they're someone, they might say, this dog might say that it's a man, but it's actually a dog. You never know who's actually behind that screen. You just have what they tell you. I have several scenarios here about different scams that I would like to go through and just talk about each one. So the first one is, your computer has been really slow lately and you know you need to get it fixed. A computer company contacts you saying your computer has a virus and offers to fix the problem for free. They just need you to allow them access to your computer. There are a few different red flags in this. So for me, the first one is that the computer company contacted me. I did not contact a reputable company that I know is honest and real and true with real people in my community, possibly that I know or that I've gotten a reference from other people saying that this company is good. The next red flag is that they're offering to fix this problem for free. So like I said before, nobody is going to offer you something for free. So if they're saying that, they're wanting something else in return. And the third red flag is that all you need to do is allow them access to your computer. But often on our computers, we have all kinds of personal information. We have our credit card information, our banking information, our home address, contacts, passwords, all kinds of stuff that if you gave them access, they would have access to everything on that computer and could steal whatever they wanted. In this scenario, your brother sends you a message on Facebook asking you to wire him money immediately because his car broke down and he doesn't have enough money to get it fixed. I have a couple of red flags in this situation as well. First of all, my brother would not send me a Facebook message. He would call me if there was an emergency and he was on the side of the road. He would not have the time to write out a text or a message. He would just call me. The other red flag is that he is asking me to wire him money. That's really odd. If he needed money, I would just take him cash or I would go with him to get this problem fixed. But wiring somebody money is not very common. So if I got this message on Facebook from my brother, supposedly, I would check out if this is true by just calling him, because then my brother will answer and I can ask him, are you on the side of the road with a broken down car? Are you the one that sent me this message? And if he says no, then I know then that his Facebook account has been hacked and somebody else has sent me that message. In this situation, you have finally found the perfect bike on Craigslist. You contact the seller and they say to you that you must come and pick up the bike at their house. This could be a great scenario where there's actually a bike for sale. These people are honest and safe people. You go and pick up the bike and you get it home, everything goes well. However, it could be the opposite. These people might not have a bike at all, and that could be a stock photo that they put up saying that they have this for sale. They could just be trying to steal your money, or they could even be trying to hurt you. So if you're going to go and get the bike, make sure somebody goes with you that you trust and who can help you. Make sure that you take cash and you're not giving a credit card number or something like that, or even a check with your address on it. Cash is always best so that when that exchange is done, it's done. They don't have any follow-up information from you. And if you are going to go get it, make sure that it's also during the daylight. Often, sometimes people will be willing to meet you halfway or somewhere in public instead of having you come to their house. But that's not always an option if somebody doesn't have a way to transport a bigger item like this. So if you decide that you just don't feel comfortable in this situation and the bike is not worth it, the bike is not worth the risk of having your money stolen or getting hurt. You can just say no thank you. It's a lot easier and a lot safer to just go buy a bike at the store. In this situation, your bank calls you saying that your bank account may have been hacked. But to confirm your identity, they ask that you first confirm your social security number. There's a couple of big red flags here. First of all, that your bank called you. And second of all, that they're asking for your social security number. As a bank, they should already have all of the information they need, and so they would never ask you to confirm your social security number over the phone like that. In order to find out if this is true, you need to hang up and call your bank yourself. Call the actual number of the bank that you have on file. That way you can speak to someone directly. You know that you're talking with your actual bank, because when somebody else calls you, it could always come up as your bank, but you just don't know. Like, people are really smart. Hackers are really smart because they have a lot of money to make if they can trick people. So just hang up and call your bank yourself and ask them if there's an issue going on. In this scenario, there's just been a natural disaster and you get a letter in the mail asking for donations to help with cleanup efforts. You've never heard of the organization, but you want to help. It's pretty common that scammers will take advantage of situations like this where people want to give from their hearts to help others. But just because somebody is claiming to do good work in the world does not mean that they are being honest. So if you do want to give and you do want to help out, I would suggest donating to an organization that you're familiar with and that you know is honest. You could also just volunteer. That's another great way to give back and help people without donating money and worrying about where that money is going. In this last scenario, there's a number you do not recognize that calls you, and a lady says that you are the grand prize winner and have won a free cruise vacation. Now this is just alarm bells all over the place, red flag after red flag, because again, no one is going to give you something like this for free. They want something in return. So in order to claim your free prize, you will either have to pay some fee or you'll have to give personal information like your address or your social security number. It's just not true. There are also a couple of ways that we can get scams through our cell phones. So in this situation, you get a text that says, hey, are you still single? Check out my profile. And then they send you a link. So Of course, we want to know who thinks we're cute, who wants to hang out with us, who's wondering if we're single. That's really tempting. But if you click on that profile, if you click on that link, who knows where that's going to take you? And it could hack your phone. They could steal from you. You might see something you don't want to see. So just delete that text. In this text message, it says, "Dear customer, we have detected some unusual activity on your bank account. We urgently ask you to follow this secure link to review your account." And then they send a link. So this is very similar to the phone call we got from the supposed bank. You don't want to click on that link. If you are worried that there might be an issue with your bank account, just call your bank directly. But with this text message, it screams scam. So just delete it. There are many privacy settings that you can set to better protect your information. So one is never share your passwords with anyone except your safe person. Another is change the settings from public to private, so only the people that you approve can see your information. Only become friends and talk to people online that you actually know in real life and trust. And then keep a list of your passwords somewhere very safe, like a secured app or a locked drawer. You can also give that list to your safe person. With passwords, it's best if you have a really complicated password, such as 8 or more characters. A password is stronger when it has numbers, letters, uppercase and lowercase, and as well as a special character like an exclamation point or a question mark. And then don't put any kind of personal information in your password because that can be easier to guess. Then try to use a different password for each account. Create a passcode on your phone, computer, tablet, and smartwatch. That way, if somebody steals one of these items, they can't just get in there easily because you have a passcode that you need to know to get into it. And then lastly, log off of your accounts when using a public or shared computer. Okay, so I have 3 different slides about safety tips, and these are all kind of random, so I hope it's not too overwhelming, but if you need to, you can pause this recording and back it up as many times as you need to slow me down. So number 1, don't post online that you're going on a trip. That is dangerous because then people know that you are gone and that your house is empty. So that would be a good time to steal and break in. So just if you're going to share about your trip, post about it after you get back. Don't answer a phone call from a number you don't recognize. See if they leave a voicemail. So if it's an important message that you need to get, they will leave a voicemail. And then you can decide if you want to call them back or not. Don't download free software or click on pop-up ads for free games, free money, or juicy stories. These often infect your computer with harmful viruses. Don't respond to text messages, emails, or pop-up messages that tell you to send your personal information, photos of yourself, or money. Protect your phone, your computer, and your tablet. So if somebody gets a hold of one of these things, they have all kinds of information on you. Don't believe everything or everyone online. Fuzz out or crop photos that show your address, license plate, or other identifying information. If someone tells you to keep a secret or threatens you, tell your safe person right away. And then turn your location services off. Ask yourself, does this app really need to know where I am at all times? Stop yelling in all capital letters with lots of exclamation points and bold font. Remember that there are real people behind those characters in your online games, so be kind and respectful. Respect others' space. Do not continue to send messages to someone who doesn't respond. This is a really big one, and we will talk more about this in the healthy relationships training. But if somebody is not responding to your messages, you're probably making them feel uncomfortable if you keep responding. So you need to respect their space. Even though it's online, it's still a boundary that they're setting with you, and you need to respect that. Don't add your bosses or your coworkers on social media unless you are friends in real life. And never meet someone by yourself that you've met online. And lastly, we need to remember to take a break from technology every now and then. It's easy to become addicted to technology and being online all of the time. Sometimes it feels easier than talking to people face to face or being out in the real world. But when we spend too much time online, we become isolated and lonely. So we need to make sure we are getting outside in the fresh air and sunlight, that we are hanging out with our friends and family in real life, that we are keeping our bodies active, that we are learning, and that we are getting creative with art. It's important to remember that we have rights when it comes to being online. You have the right to tell someone if you're feeling uncomfortable or upset by something online. You have the right to use technology as a resource, even though there are risks that you need to be aware of. You have the right to ignore and block someone who is being mean, not respecting your space, trying to scam you, or is asking for pictures of your body. You have the right to report abuse and theft to your safe person and/or the police. You have the right to ask someone to delete a photo or video or information about you that you did not give them permission to share. You have the right to turn off your game if you're getting too upset and need to calm down. You have the right to be treated with kindness and respect online. You have the right to not accept someone's friend request if you don't know them or don't want to be friends with them on social media. You have the right to keep your passwords private. You have the right to take a break from the online world when you need it. And you have the right to delete your social media accounts if you don't want to have them any longer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, this is presented by the Butler County Board of Developmental Disabilities. If you have any questions or comments or feedback about this training, you can email us at communityconnections@butlerdd.org or call us at 513-785-2800. Thanks so much.